So the wait is over as the Premier League kicks off tonight. The 2025-2026 Premier League season, of course, is upon us. But who, of course, is my tip for the title? Who do I think will go down? Well, we're going to take a little look at all that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at my 2025-2026 Premier League prediction, who I think will be the champions at the end of the season, who, of course, I think will be playing EFL Championship Football next campaign. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. You want some show for Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. The Premier League does kick off today. Liverpool are in action. But before they even kick a ball, I want to get my predictions out there. Now, I have dabbled with them over the season, over the summer, should I say, of course. But since those early door videos, a lot of managerial merry-go-round has calmed down. Some transfers have come in. And even though there is still a chunk of the transfer window remaining, I'm going to give you my updated take on the campaign itself. We'll get to that in a minute. Big shout out to members of the Patreons. You know who you are. But let's jump into the vortex and get this show on the road. Alrighty then, folks. Here we go. Of course, if you're familiar with the channel, we like to do predictions a little bit differently. We do start from the middle of the pack, work our way down, bit of a slow, drawn-out tease, and then we do the top half of the table. So, without further ado, we're going to start with who I think will finish in 11th this campaign, and it is one of those vanilla kind of teams that are never going to go up, never going to go down at the current state of affairs, and it is Brighton of Albion. That's right. I've got them up there. Of course, Hoosler's still in charge. Bookies have them around about 9th favourites with 250 to 1 to become champions. I don't think they're going to be that high. I do think it's going to be a little bit tighter at the top end there with some bounce-back teams. We're talking talking Spurs, we're talking Man United, potentially to get back into that top end of the table. So I do think 11th is about right. They did lose Joe Padro, of course, which was a major loss. But of course, they've got their recruitment on par, so they'll have likely replacements all over the place. Into 12th place, we go Bournemouth, again, another one of them vanilla teams that, with Andy Areola in charge, they should be there or thereabouts once again. My only concern is they have had their backline ripped to shreds, and I'm not too sure about their replacements at the moment. I think the top end of the field, they're pretty much still solid in that regard, but major rebuild at the back. Lost the goalkeeper. They lost, I think, 3 of the back 4, maybe even all of the back 4. I don't even completely know. Their Kirkes went, one of them went to Real Madrid. Of course, they had all their talent stolen away. But again, just like Brighton, they've got a nice recruitment sort of set up over there, so that if not already, I'm sure by the end of the window, they'll have all the components in the right places. So these are the kind of at the moment, and fair to Brighton and Bournemouth, these are what Blackburn Rovers used to be back in the day, and a steady Eddie Premier League side right now, and no fear of going up or down, as long as they have everything, all the business is done behind the scenes, recruitment, managerial situations, they're on top of everything, good structure, and right now they're going nowhere. Meanwhile, it's a 30th place. It is a downgrade, and I do anticipate this because of they're competing on multiple fronts. They also lost a bit of talent in Ajara there, some of the key components going out the door, and again the concern between the owner and the manager. Yes, I know, they kind of seem to have patched things up, but ultimately the owner is a bit of a hothead, and if things don't go right early doors, I'm sure a managerial casualty will happen, and of course that will bring its own headaches in the long term. So I do expect a bit of a pushback from Forest this season. I did have them way down there at the end of my early door prediction, just that little outrage at the end where they kind of lost Champions League football in exchange for Europa League football was concerning, and I just think that's going to be a hanging over Nuno Espirito Santo's head, and just if things go a little bit toxic, a little bit wrong early doors, we could see Nottingham Forest change manager before too soon. Into 14th place, it is Fulham, and again they've managed to keep a hold of their manager Marco Silva, done a great job there, and again just like Brighton, just like Bournemouth, just seem to be here, in this mid clutch here, never making much progression towards the top end or the bottom end. They just keep themselves consistent, and at the moment, I think they've got a solid goalkeeper in the back there. And the coach, of course, was tempted by Saudi Arabian football, the possibility of that, but stuck to his guns. So something must be right if the money didn't tempt him to go anywhere. So I think it's a good, clean, or a good working environment for Fulham and for Marco Silva. And I just think they're going to do all right. Just be in the nice pack that's not near the top, not near the bottom, just staying out of trouble, staying out of the spotlight. And then I've got a little bit of a surprise here, and that's Leeds United. They may end up doing a managerial casualty, and I think they may end up doing that earlier rather than later. I think Daniel Farke's got his work cut out ahead of him, and just like the owners at Forest, or the owner at Forest, Leeds were already umming and ahhing about Daniel Farke before he actually secured the back end of the season there. So there was already concern about him, and they must have a blueprint ready for the scenario if, or probably when, it goes a little bit rough for Leeds. And I do think they'll get it right, and they'll probably put a bit of backing behind this new coach, whoever it will be. And of course, it's not guaranteed that will happen. But if it does start to get a little bit rough early doors, you know, if nothing's starting moving in the right direction, or things don't look good by the first international break, we might already be planning stages for a change of manager at Ellen Road. So I've got them down 15, but I have them surviving. So look at that. Meanwhile, into the back end of the bottom end of the SecTech table there, we do have the drop zone here, the 18th, 19th, 20th, but who will narrowly avoid relegation in my eyes? Well, it's a 16th place. It will be West Ham United. Again, I can't really predict these guys at the moment. I just think under Graham Potter last season, it was a pretty null affair, bit boring, not much excitement, and I don't think they were moving in the right direction. I'm still, I've not been fully focused on the Premier League transfer dealings. I know they were linked with that John goalkeeper from the front of Botafogo. Not too sure if that happened or progressed or completed, but they definitely need some new quality in here to drive West Ham up the table. I think they'll just be all right, but this is not what you want from West Ham. I'd like to see West Ham punching around about the 9th, 10th, 11th kind of spots, but right now, just another season of stagnant football for West Ham. Into 70th place and just avoiding the drop. It is ba-bam. It is Sunderland. That's right. They have brought in a lot of players, spending a bit of cash. They're doing it kind of a Nottingham Forest kind of style way, and they brought in some real experienced pros as well. Granit Xhaka coming in, he's been here, seen it, and done it. He's been given the captain's armband, I believe, and with Reggie Labrie, who is an unknown entity. I just think they'll do enough to stick around. They're a humongous sized club. That is an intimidating place to go when you consider the likes of the clubs that don't necessarily play in front of that many fans. I know you get results, but Sunderland back in the Premier League, I do believe they belong in the Premier League, and I think they're going to have a difficult first season, but just stick around. I think Reggie B will be here at the end of the campaign. It will just be a long old slog in the end. So who are going down in my eyes? Well, into 18th spot, I have Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again, lost a bit of talent in this window. I'm not necessarily sure that they replaced the talent, and we're heading into the start of the season here with major concerns as to which direction Wolverhampton Wanderers are going. I think the coach is good, but again, a tough old few weeks at the start of the campaign, and you know what? They might make the decision to replace the coach, and that basically resets the clocks, resets the blocks. And of course, you could have a man and a team that just don't work together or don't get on. I just think Wolves relegation, has not been on the agenda for many years. But I think if it's not this season, it's coming soon. I think they've started to wane a little bit, and now with the talent that was lost in the summer, I just don't think they're gonna have enough to stick around, because it's gonna be quite tight. The guys that have come up, the Burnleys, the Sunderlands, the Leeds, are trying to avoid triple threat relegation, and I just fear that one or two of these Premier League established clubs over the years are going to get sucked into it. I've got Wolves in it right here, right now. And then joining them will be another one. It'll be Brentford. Of course, Tommy Frank is no more. He made the switch to Spurs. I think that's a great move for him. Brentford, on the other hand, had the chance. They had the chance to maybe snap a Kieran McKenna from an Ipswich town, or get an experienced coach who's got minutes under his belt. But they opted for Keith Andrews, and I think that is a massive gamble. They've also lost a bit of talent with Mbembo. I think Vista's also on the move as well. They've lost Norgard in midfield, so and of course Flecken. Didn't they lose Flecken at the back, the goalkeeper? So a massive change. So humongous. It's not like Keith Andrews starts with the best possible Brentford that he has on the agenda there. He starts with a loss. He's a negative. He's lost a lot of talent, and I actually do think Brentford are going to go down. And again, he's on the radar. Brentford might give him a little bit longer. You know what I mean? They're one of the teams that probably won't sack a coach. They're not cutthroat like maybe a Wolves or a Leeds or a Forest or something like that. I think they're going to give him time, and that time might it might be a bad decision in the end. So they're going to go down, and they are going to be joined by, of course, the six-finger banjo players. They are Burnley and Scotty Parker's boys. They don't deserve to be in this league. They're a shambles, they're a shit show, they're fraudulent. They shouldn't be here, and they're going to be here with their six fingers, and they're going to be outplayed and outfought and embarrassed. They're going to be embarrassed. Derby County's points tally is on the radar there, so just keep an eye out for Burnley being an absolute shit show of embarrassment, shit stain of football. That is Burnley. Moving forward, though, we go to the top 10. And it is Everton. That's right. New stadium. Yeah, I know people say new stadium, new jinx and all that kind of jazz. I'm not up for it. I think David Moyes, experienced coach, just brought Jack Grealish, which is an exciting loan. I know it's only for the season, but who knows? I think that kind of player who will get you free kicks, who will get you into dangerous positions. It's exciting. It's just what Everton need. I think they need to really close out this transfer window, though, with a couple of new additions to really bolster that. But Grealish, a statement signing. £100+ million player you have on the books there, but he needs a good season himself. It is a World Cup year, so we might see the best out of Jack Grealish, and that might be, of course, beneficial to Everton. Into ninth, we have the Geordies, of course, a bit of a summer of turmoil. They brought a couple of players, Langer's coming in there, but a lot of uncertainty and just a summer of rejection for Newcastle United. And as of recording, Alexander Isak is still a Newcastle player. I don't think he's going to be involved this weekend, so don't put him on your fantasy football roster there. Just a season of trouble. I do think they'll still be okay. They're going to be battling on multiple fronts, of course, Champions League. I think they made Champions League, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're going to be competing with multiple fronts. And you know what? Maybe the hot seat, the managerial hot seat could be wavered around Newcastle with Eddie Howe if things don't go great. But he's done a great job so far, fantastic, and they just need to navigate this Isak mess and get out of it with a good, strong player to replace him and a bit of money in the bank, and then who knows. So that's my ninth place. Into eighth, we have Manchester United. That's right, of course, season of woe last season, real shitty season. Amarim's still at the helm. They have put in some players, but they still have a core component of the dog shit that was there. The players that Ruben Amorim doesn't want at the club, it's hard to shift those kind of players. The Casemiro's, who else you got at the back there? Just a whole, a lot of overpaid players. Rashford's gone to Barcelona. He's upped his game there a little bit. It's just you want rid of him, but you can't shift them. Garancho's still there. I don't know. He's probably done his thing. Matey boy Anthony's still in the books. Sancho currently, they've still got a lot of it. It's harder to shift them because they're paying a shit ton of money. So this could be wrong. They could have another season of shit. They have brought a couple of players that have Sesko's exciting. Could be the striker they've been missing out for. But is that where the problem is? Is it not the problem just the club right now? I think it's just a mess. So, I'm gambling here, putting Manchester United here as high as 8th. I think they could have another shit season. And they've spent the money, though, on Sesko and Kuna and Mbembo. So they've improved their attack. But have they improved the culture? I don't know. Aston Villa into 7th. Again, just feeling a little bit of stagnation from Aston Villa's a couple of seasons of shine. But still up there, still competing. There's still a problem. And Unai Emery is a great coach for Villa as of right now. So, again, keeping a hold of their talent. Morgan Rogers is still there. Watkins is there. Again, picking up some interest. Leon Bailey could be on the move to Roma. So, we'll see how their summer ends. But right now, they still got a lot of the key components as well. Aston Villa. Into 6th, I have Crystal Palace. They're just on the trajectory for Crystal Palace is the sky's the limit. And at the moment, as I'm recording, they still got all those components, all those players that are attracting the interest. The Adam Whartons, the Mark Gays, the Eze's. They're all there. The Matete's up top. So they've got all the players are there. They may be improved upon that Palace squad as well. They will be playing in Europe. That might be a bit of a backgrade. But maybe, just maybe, they'll have a stronger season this season because I just think the club, the culture right now is fantastic. I don't think you can have a better run club or team than Crystal Palace at the moment, especially consider outside the big four, the big six, whatever. Those guys have got it down to a T right now. If I was a professional football, which I've never ever been close, I would choose Crystal Palace right now because I just think they've got the right manager. I think they're playing great football. They're difficult to beat. They're not a one-trick pony, and they're definitely one to keep an eye out. But into the Power 5 we go now, and into 5th. It is Tottenham Hotspur. That's right. Tommy Frank's boys are here. They had a good summer. I still think they're trying to build their squad. The Eze's could make that switch, though, from Crystal Palace to Spurs. They're trying to bring Morgan White. A lot of deals that tried to happen never necessarily got over the line. But they've also lost Sung Young Min, who's made the move to LAFC or LA Galaxy, one of those two out in the MLS. But I just think the vibe around the place is different. I think he's the right man to have. Hopefully, he's brought his whole team with him. So keep an eye on Tottenham Hotspur for definitely a bounce back season and pushing for Champions League football once again. I just think they need to close out this window strongly and get some definitely some firepower up top. So it'll be an interesting back end summer, but I do think they'll get it right because Frank seems to get what he wants. So, yeah, into fourth place we go, and it's Chelsea. Had a good season. Of course, Club World Cup winners. Yeah, credit to that. And the squad is now growing from young boys into men here. And they've just not stopped on that. They've decided to get rid of some deadwood in amongst that core of players. And they're looking to bring in even better, in their regards, players to add to the team. So I do think Chelsea will be there or thereabouts. Once again, I'm hoping for a four-way title challenge here, but I do think it's going to be the top two might just have a bit too much in the tank here, and maybe even the number one club here will be outright winners by a distance. So Chelsea are up there. They're going to be up there, and they're looking good at the moment. For my better judgment, I think McKeska, I thought he was punching above his weight, but he did step up and deliver last season with Champions League football. He won the Cup Winners', whatever it's called, the Europa Conference League. He won the Club World Cup. He's delivering with some silverware. So, you know what? I think they might have a good coach on his hand in the long term. Into third, it is Manchester City. Everyone's tipping them to have a little bit of another negative season. They still got the key men up top. Of course, Haaland's there, Marmoush. But De Bruyne's gone, moved on still. And Edison's about to switch gears to maybe Turkey. So, question mark says who's going to be the number one? Will they get Donnarumma in? Will James Trafford step up? Is James Trafford ready for this kind of football? So, we'll see. Those are big questions that need to be answered. And yeah, I do think this is a transitional season for Man City. And, of course, Pep Guardiola. Maybe he's trying to do this rebuild at the moment. But ultimately, right now, Grealish is gone, of course. So, yeah, question mark still for City. And maybe they're not all that bag of cheese just yet. And into second spot, is there a surprise? It is Arsenal. Again, spent some having quite a bit of money this past summer. Goyokes is up top, which could be exciting to see what he delivers in the Premier League. They brought Norgard to boost the defence. They got rid of some baggage there in Partey, you know, where all the shit that's gone around with him allegedly over the summer. So yeah, it's a definite a build upon season for Arsenal, and it's probably last chance saloon, you would think, for Mikel Arteta. But they backed him, they've given him money, but they haven't given him enough money to challenge these guys, and that is Liverpool, and they are, of course, the title winners at the moment, and they've just boosted their squad dramatically. Ekitike they've brought in. Of course, Florian Wirtz in midfield. They're looking to bring it the boost to the defence as well. And they're not stopping there. I think if they can get Alexander Isak, of course, that would be the probably most spiciest transfer window I've ever seen. And it would definitely be the probably most well-stocked Liverpool squad they've had in many, many years. So keep an eye on Liverpool for points tally. But again, let's just see where their summer's going to end with transfers. They've been busy. They've been active. And it's been good to see as a third party. But that is my take on the 2025-2026 Premier League season. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that, of course. And if you want to join in some fantasy football, I might drop a link in this video. I'm going to be building that team once I've pressed stop here, get this video online. I'm going to build my fantasy team, get a league going. So I'll drop a code in if you're interested. If not, don't worry about it. It's only for fun. Until then, though, subscribe, smash the like. I'll see you soon when I return. But until then, I'm done.